Alright guys, so in this video, I'm going to be giving you my real thoughts about IB. I was able to do the IB program in my school and I did get my diploma at the end of the day. Now before I go into this IB world, just to give you guys an introduction if you don't know what IB is or maybe you're considering doing IB, IB basically stands for International Baccalaureate. Now it is an international program and it's very common for students to do the IB program mainly in high school, even though it is offered in grade school as well. Now in IB, classes are divided into 6 different groups, and then there's an additional group which consists of extra work. Now extra work, that's something you're going to hear a lot in IB. That is because IB has a very strong and selective coursework. Now in the high school, there's some IB culture that's been going around that IB students don't sleep, all they do is homework and procrastinate. In fact, they've even made memes of this. Now before moving on with the video, why don't we read some IB memes?
You take IB English HL, I too like to live dangerously. Oh, you're an IB? Tell me how much sleep you get every day. Take a good guess. Who's in the IB program? You know you're an IB student when you procrastinate by complaining about IB.
Now let's go to the purpose of this video. I'm going to tell you my truthful and honest opinion and thoughts about the IB program. Now, unlike other people that talk about IB, let me start off by saying that it's actually not that bad. Yes, you do have a lot of work, but if you set up a good schedule for yourself, you'll be fine. Now, in terms of the difficulty the IB program claims to have, my personal opinion is that it all depends on the classes you choose, the teachers you have, and the school you go to, and how they manage the program itself. Now, with the classes, it really helps you decide if you want to make your IB life easy or hard. I standard leveled or SL'd in bio, German, and math, and I HL'd or higher leveled in theater, English, and history. Now, with the SL and HLs, standard level and higher level, you want to make sure that you know what you're choosing. Your SLs tend to be the weaker subjects or the ones you have less interest in, while your HLs are your stronger subjects and the ones that you are very interested in. Now, what do I mean by challenge yourself? I don't mean choose HL math if you're terrible at math like me. What I'm saying is, let's say you have a very deep interest in history, but you never really had a good base of it. But you do want to learn more about this world and about historical events that happened in the past. So maybe you're debating whether to do standard level or higher level history at this point. Challenging yourself would be doing the higher level, because even though it is a harder class, at the end of the day, it interests you more, which is why you're challenging yourself and deciding to do this higher level class. Now, don't HL something that you have no interest in whatsoever. When you HL something, make sure you have somewhat of an interest in it. For instance, I had the choice of HLing between theater and psychology. To be honest, I really wasn't much into either of them, but what made me choose theater over psychology? I have a YouTube account. I make these little videos. Theater helps you present a little bit more. Did I care about psychology at all? No, which is why I didn't choose it. Make sure you know what classes you're choosing and what you're doing with your schedule, because I think that can really change the difficulty of your IB experience. Now, I do think I had really good teachers. Not only were they friendly, but they were very helpful because they kind of side with you. They would actually help you with the little small stuff throughout the program. For example, when it came to writing all my internal assessments, my extended essay, my TOK paper, the teachers were there to help. I think having good teachers that are not only good at teaching, but are actually there to help you is something that is really important in the program. Now, it also depends how the school manages the program. Now, in my high school, there's a big GPA difference between the IB students and the non-IB students, which is why the school really tried to strengthen their IB program. Having the IB program in my school really gave my school a better reputation. Now, what I mean by the way the school handles the IB program is basically how do they guide you through it? Do they hand you out the due dates way ahead of time? Or do they make you figure out everything with the IB coordinator? On top of that, how well do they teach you about the program itself? I'm not gonna lie, in IB you're gonna be doing so much stuff that you don't even know what you're doing. For instance, the TOK paper is a perfect example. I still have no idea what that was about. We're gonna have a lot of assignments that only IB students do. IAs are internal assessments. The EE is extended essay. CAS is somewhat like an extra community service requirement. All of these small things, is your school telling you what all these things are? How well is your school preparing you to do all these things? I think that really matters when doing IB. Now let me move on to the assignments in IB and let me give you my honest opinion about them. Are they a waste of time or do they actually help you in your life? You have IAs, internal assessments, which are usually written pieces, kind of like an essay that you have to do for each group. You have the extended essay, which by the name is a very big essay. You get to do it in any subject you want. It adds up to your final IB mark scheme for the diploma. You have a TOK paper. This is kind of like a long philosophy essay that nobody really knows what they're writing about. You're gonna have a lot of orals throughout the program. The IOC, and there's also a presentation in the TOK class itself. And finally, CAS, which is basically an extra community service requirement. You have to do a project with it at the end of the year. It's not that bad. So basically, with all these assignments are required only for IB students. But personally, what I think is that when you're in the moment doing these assignments, just writing night in, night out, you're really, really, really gonna hate it. And you're even gonna consider dropping out of IB, you're gonna think it's too hard for you, you think you won't be able to handle it. But truth is, I actually don't think those assignments were that bad of an experience. Now, I don't say that bad because at the moment, yes, you do think you're wasting time and you do wish that you were just like non-IB kids who don't have to deal with any of them. But then after you do all those assignments, you actually learn some stuff. Not only that, but once you enter freshman year of college, it makes a lot of assignments in college really easy. Or it just makes it seem like you just don't have random assignments in college popping up like an IB. So I do think that all these assignments, even though at the moment you're gonna hate them, you're going to regret choosing IB, I do think on the long run they are extremely beneficial. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this and they're going to roast on me, but like I said, it's just my own opinion. I think doing all those papers and all that work actually did help me in the future, so I do think IB for that. Let me give you guys my final hard thoughts on IB. Something I think you get out of IB is you get to value time management. If you want to do IB the easy way and not have so much stress, hopefully once you procrastinate enough in IB, you do realize that you do have to set a certain schedule. And this time management really applies to everything in life. Whether you're just doing the IB diploma in high school, you're in college, or even once you get a job. Otherwise, if you just procrastinate in IB and in life, you're really never going to get anything done. You're not going to be productive. You're not going to be efficient with your work. So I do think for myself that IB was very good in teaching me how to control my time, how to manage my time. I do think IB is very good in that. Something else that I do think you get out of IB is you're always going to have that pressure to succeed. You're going to be very pressured to do good in everything, do good in tests. Even if you procrastinate, you're going to realize how much you're going to have to study, how much work you're going to have to put in to get those final A's. IB basically gives you no room to slack. It makes sure that you're very productive and that you get good grades so you can stay in the program. Eventually, if you do get the IB diploma, it might help you out tremendously. For instance, I do receive a scholarship since I obtained the diploma, which I am very thankful for. I think there's a psychological part to it. That's basically something I came across. If I want to succeed in high school and get good grades, I'm going to have to do good in IB because I'm in the IB program and that's basically how it works. I chose IB classes, I have to do good in those classes and have a good GPA all around. Now the last thing that I do think IB really helped me at least, it makes that first semester of freshman year really, really easy. Since junior and senior year of high school, you're used in IB just to having so many assignments thrown at you, so many essays. In college, you're not going to have that much of a bulk of assignments. Now, am I saying college is going to be extremely easy? Not really. You're still going to have to put in some work. But I think it's going to be much easier coming from that IB background where you had so much work. So I do think that on the long run, IB was definitely worth it, at least for me. Now, proper time management. Anybody can do IB. Like I said, I'm not going to over-exaggerate it like everybody does. I'm not going to create a meme. I got plenty of sleep. I did 2 sports. It wasn't that bad, alright? In fact, it wasn't even bad. It was hard, but that's just life. Alright guys, that's it for me in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't checked out my other videos, please check out my channel. If you have any questions, just leave them down in the comment section below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it, like it, subscribe, and always remember, stay hydrated.